Hey guys,
Hi,
this is the CATchy duo. I am Joki.
I'm Judy, and it is us here with you.
Yeah, sorry, I get distracted very easily. We're somewhere outside, so I can see people passing by.
Nature.
Yeah. So anyway, how has your week been?
It's been amazing.
Mm,
I received some great news last week.
yay!
Yay. So I just hope the great news will advance to greater news.
Yeah,
It's I would
nice.
say, if I say, probably I'll spoil the chances of whatever is
You'll
happening.
jinx it.
Yeah. So let me just keep it at that. Just know, great news came by. It was amazing. And then on Saturday, I went to an event, a traditional event. It was amazing what you learn in such events. It was just amazing. Uh, for the Kikuyus, it's called Gushogya Mwana. Don't you know that one?
Yeah, yeah.
It was amazing, considering it was a young couple and those who came were older
Older,
women.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
they come to bless the kid.
Oh
It's,
yeah, for those who don't know what
Yeah.
the event is all about.
yeah, they come to bless your child.
Mhm.
So they give you money, obviously, but they do around. I went to one where they do around.
Mhm.
So every single parent who's there
Mhm.
comes and holds your kid and blesses them with something. Just says a word of blessing towards your child, then the next person, and then the next person. It's so amazing how much tradition we've let go of.
Yeah,
That
true.
is so beautiful, honestly.
It's very beautiful. But they actually nowadays, I think the only traditions happening when it comes to life, well, based in now this side of the Kikuyu, I'd say Rurasho. Rurashos are the only major, as in the only traditional event nowadays. I see that is coming up because nowadays the
Everyone-
gowns I see people putting on, I'm like,
It's for the we're not doing it for the traditions, we're doing it for the fashion.
the fashion. Wow.
But I think it's also important for people to realize there are consequences to these things. So if you're doing a rurasha just because a rurasha is done, you need to know why it's being done and how it's done.
Oh, yeah,
Because
true.
there's differences between how different families conduct their rurashas. So find that out before you actually mess yourself up. Truly.
And then I actually had a question. Do you think that because of nowadays we have interracial marriages and intertribal marriages, that's why most traditions are dying at this point?
No, I think the fact is that nowadays people are not taught their traditions. So if you grow up in Nairobi, honestly, it's very hard for most people. Like there's this thing, I know how to, I can hear Kikuyu, but I don't know how to speak Kikuyu.
Oh, yes.
So there's differences in that because in our households we don't speak Kikuyu. When you go to your grandparents' place, they also speak to you in Kiswahili. Mine speak to me in Kikuyu, but only after I actually learned how to speak Kikuyu. No one taught me Kikuyu. I had to learn by myself. No one taught me how to read Kikuyu. I had to learn on my own, which is very difficult. Even older people have problems reading in Kikuyu. It's very difficult. But I think that the issue is that we don't get that teaching about our traditions and where we're from, because I think it's very, for me, I think it's really, really important that I know. So this is what used to happen. There's some really bad things about tradition, the FGM, early marriages and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also the other part of tradition that we don't know about, that we don't get taught, that educates how we even live, the decisions that we make. That I think it's, and also the fact that, like right now, if we're in Nairobi, right? So in Nairobi you have almost every, I think it's every single tribe in the country lives at one place in Nairobi.
True.
So you have that interaction. So the merging of the cultures creates new cultures.
Yeah.
So the same way they were able to bring together English and Kikuyu and Kiswahili to give you Sheng.
Oh, yeah.
is the same thing. As in, culture keeps changing because it's dynamic, it keeps changing. But I think for them, mostly for the tribal one, it's because we are not taught what our cultures are and why they're important, why those rituals are important.
Because different, because I know of a couple who are interracial, no, intertribal, yes, intertribal. So the lady is Luya, but the guy is Kikuyu. So when they had the event, the same event, Kushogea Mwana, so the lady was kind of lost in the event because she didn't know what was happening. But I don't know.
I think that was an overview on the husband's part, because he should have explained to her what that ceremony was and why it was important. And also in various, I think in all traditions, if you're a chick and you marry a guy, you automatically go into
his life.
You now, it's like, okay, it's not exactly like you're abandoning your culture, but you have to adapt to your husband's side, which I feel like you should learn before you actually get married, because maybe there are traditions in each and every stages that are not on your side.
True. That's true.
Anyway, learn your cultures, guys. Learn your languages, learn your traditions, learn why they're important. But that's not what we're talking about today. That was just on a light note. So I'm thinking, I decided this week that I wanted to get a planner. So so that I can track, because I forget that my meetings, like this, the recording of this podcast, where I need to be at certain times, because sometimes I find that I've filled up my day without realizing. So maybe I have 2 meetings that are back to back, and I'm like, I don't even remember doing this. Or someone texts me and like, you're supposed to be here at this time. So I'm like, But I found a planner. I might show you guys next week. I found a certain planner that we are going to be using, that has a part for self-care.
It highlights.
It highlights self-care. So I was thinking about it when I saw that part, and I was thinking, like, how important is self-care?
I think self-care is very, very important. Nowadays, what we know about self-care is now what people show us, especially social media content creators and the rest, that self-care entails maybe having a skincare routine, or maybe going out on solo dates. Solo dates are everywhere. Everyone, as it type 2 YouTube solo dates, like a whole catalog of people just going on solo dates. And I think, well, what they're doing is okay, but nowadays it seems like self-care is just for those with money. Because how will you go on a solo date without money? Nenda kulipia chakula gani? Ama, like, and whatever you see out in the internet is expensive restaurants. Like, people are living the life, but I believe self-care is everything. Daily affirmations is part of self-care, because it's good to affirm yourself that everything you're doing is okay, but don't do wrong, and then you out there saying everything I do is okay. Umeenda ukagonga mtu huko, and then you're saying he deserved it or she deserved it.
The Lord planned it. But honestly, for me, at some point I will do it, and then I'll be like, you should have watched yourself. But anyway, that's just me. I feel like self-care is a form of self-love. I don't have a skincare routine, as you can see, because
her skin is glowing, so there's something you're doing that you're not telling us.
It's genetic. it's genetic.
Everything is
genetic. But the thing is, I don't really think I would be able to handle a skincare routine, because it has like 5 steps.
A lot. You need sunscreen, you need a moisturizer,
you
need
sijui concealer or whatever. I will get into it. Obviously, I'll get into it at one point.
when she gets money.
Yes, when I get enough money to actually afford it. But no, I think my problem would be holding on to that as a routine.
Okay.
But anyway, I have no issues with skincare. I think it is actually amazing. I've seen what it does to your skin and all that. So if that's your form, then that's great.
But the major thing is hydrate.
Yes.
As long as you drink water
and exercise.
You'll glow.
Exercise.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
exercise.
okay.
Not all of us can look like this.
Genetic.
But then this is genetic. This is
genetic.
actually genetic. But anyway, I think I do. My form of self-care is one. Mondays are my off days.
Okay.
I don't do anything on Mondays.
Nothing.
Unless like it was scheduled before. I'll just go in and it's maybe for like 2 hours and that's it. I will sit down and watch TV and
Just chill in the house.
just chill on my own. So if you can't go on solo dates, that's one thing you can do. But if you live in a house where there's a lot of people, go take a walk. It doesn't have to be like a lot. I also buy, sometimes maybe once a month, I treat myself to my favorite chocolate. Yay, it's really nice. And sometimes actually go for solo dates sometimes. Even if I don't have money to buy a meal that's like 500 and above, I'll sit down and eat chipo and a soda. Just on my own. And I'm good.
Yeah.
So I think also self-love is important. But I think the one thing I would say about it is if you can't practice self-love when you're on your own, or if you don't love yourself, then how would you be able to maintain a relationship with someone else? It makes you dependent on them for approval, on the way you look, the way you feel.
True.
You know, because I feel like when it comes to relationships, it's a bit stressful because not only are you responsible for your own emotions and how you feel, but you also how you make somebody else feel.
Yeah. Okay.
So if sometimes you find like if I hate myself, I'm going to make sure you hate yourself as well.
Yeah. Because the energy you're going to bring out is that.
Yeah.
You bounce.
Yeah. You're like
back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But and again, for you to commit to someone, I believe you have to know yourself first before you start knowing someone else. Because obviously when you start a relationship, the first thing you usually ask each other is, what do you like, your favorites, things to do. Because if you don't have anything to, hauna majibu ya hizo maswali, how will you now interact with that person? Yes, some people come to discover their interest when they're with someone else because they introduce you to their things.
Yeah.
But it's good for you to at least know like 60% of what you like, and then the rest can be the two of you. Maybe he or she introduces you into something that you might like.
Because I also feel like if you don't know what you like, I'll tell you what you like.
And you will adapt to what I've told you.
So if we break up, then you're lost because you have no idea where to do and how to do and what to do on your own.
Yeah.
I feel like if I don't know what I like, somebody else will tell me what I like. But also I feel it's also how do you react to certain situations? How would you like in our third episode we were talking about open relationships.
Yes.
So how would you react? And actually even in our first, no, was it our first? No, our second one, we were talking about cheating in relationships. How would you react if someone, if someone cheated on you? Like, are you aware of what your emotions would be? Because there's people who don't know the amount of rage that they have, or people who get easily irritated, but they have no idea. There's people who are violent. You know? Yeah. So like it's really, even when we are talking about the petty things that would make someone break up with you, if you don't like the way a person chews, and you feel like that's what people do. Anyway, like that. Like, it's because sometimes people want so much validation, or you want to I remember there's this quote that always is said that don't date just so you're not lonely. Date when you finally know that you can be alone without feeling lonely. I'm a poet, guys.
Wow.
Follow me for more quotes.
Yes.
Anyway, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't know yourself, and if you can't enjoy your own company, then it means you're giving somebody else the chance to define you and your likes, even as things as simple as how you dress and the places you go to.
If you're not confident in who you are, you can be confident among others.
That's why you find people who are fake friends, they're jealous friends. You go to places and people, they feel some type of way about you and the way you're doing things. It's because sometimes, one, either you're being way too cocky and you're being a jerk and you deserve that, or sometimes it's because your level of self-confidence and your level of awareness, is something that they're jealous of. I feel like this is deja vu. I have no idea why, but I feel like this has happened before. Anyway, I digress.
Okay.
Because you find somebody is just friends with you for the sake of it, because they pretend to be nice. Maybe they're not nice.
They need exposure.
Yeah.
And we can help them with something. And then once they get it, they just disappear.
Because those are people that have no idea of who they are or what they want with their lives. And that's one thing. If you know who you are, then you know what you want. It gives you also a direction in life. So self-care is important because it also gives you a mental break.
And again, to add to that, so when you self-love or self-care, however the self is, you won't be forced to do things just to please others. Because you know who you are and you know your limits. If you're not a party person, you won't force yourself to go and hang out with people just to be called part of the crew, just to be part of the crew. Again, if you don't like, maybe or your budget is probably 5,000, and then people are telling you to go on a trip to the coast at a budget of 15,000, where will you get the 10,000? As in, it's again, you'll be able to be open with others, because if you have the confidence, you'll be able to just speak up and say, I can't, this is not possible.
Yeah.
But
so self-care is a form of mental, it's like therapy. It eases you, getting, if you don't usually fall asleep, if you don't sleep for long enough, take a day off, and that one day you can binge watch everything, you can sleep the entire day, you can eat as much junk food as you want. It can be your cheat day for anything. But always practice self-care, because it gives you a break not only from work, but from the pressures of life and society as well. I feel like we're so serious right now. It gives you a break from all that stuff, because I've personally dealt with the burnout of not doing self-care and putting it off for long. And my body just tells me, this is what we're doing now. Okay. And then it just shuts down. So if you don't give your body a break, your body will choose when to take a break. And it's never pretty, honestly.
True.
Never.
So I have a question when it comes to relationships and knowing yourself. Have you ever come across an instance where your partner introduces you to something that you actually ended up liking?
No.
Wow. Which men are you dating?
I find, okay, the thing is, I would say, is that, honestly, one, I don't, sometimes I don't respond well to new things, but also the fact that when I date people who have almost exactly the same interests as I do.
Okay.
And sometimes it's not that they don't show me new things, it's that I already know those are things that are not for me. And And also sometimes I have phobias. So if somebody is telling me to go skydiving, are you insane? What if I die? Honestly. No,
You have died
if you tell me,
trying.
no,
There's a quote that
no,
says,
I don't want to hear any quote. I do not want to hear any quote. You're telling me I go bungee jump. I will bungee jumping.
yes,
From from the sky.
Okay, sure.
And I can't, and I have a problem. I have an actual problem going upstairs mahali ninaona chini. Like if I can see the ground like this and I'm going up the stairs, I will tremble the whole way up and I will refuse to come down.
So
Like,
you'll never go ziplining?
you don't remember in high school we went for that trip. Ilikuwa Chania Falls, ile ya prefect. There was one we went to the deputy and
Thompson Fall.
no, it wasn't Thompson's.
Chania
Ilikuwa
Falls yenye
Aberdeen's,
iko
ile
Thika.
said ya Aberdeen's.
Memory. People we were pamoja Karoti, tell us.
Yeah, tell us. Because I remember being held nikiteremka mpaka chini because of to see the waterfall at the ground, and then being held nikirudi juu nilienda mbio, nilikuwa kwanza kufika huko juu, but kuteremka I was like my body refused. I was trembling. No, I already know that I don't like it, and but that I'm too scared to try it. That I'm too scared. Sometimes, okay, it's about being open to things, but I'm not open to dying. So
You don't trust man.
I know, I do not.
and his man-made things.
See, but okay, it looks fun, and I would never tell someone, don't do it. I'll go with you and stand on the sidelines and shake. I will support you, but don't tell me to do that shit. No, I refuse.
Wow.
But I feel like the thing is, for me, discovering what I like, I already did that because my parents would take us to different places, would meet different people, try new things, all that stuff, and I would travel a lot with my aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
So I know some of the things that I like, and I am yet to discover some. Some I have refused to discover, and I will continue to refuse. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. By the way, we'll see. As I keep saying, right now that is my stand.
It's true.
But maybe it will change. Maybe next month you guys will see me posting about ziplining somewhere,
At the forest.
screaming like an. I'm pretty sure I will go down screaming.
You'll scream, and then when you're out of that line, you're like, I have to do that again.
Do you know? Yes. My body trembles in a way that I can't even move. Anyway, what about you? What have you learned? Even from me.
Even from me.
Even from me.
What have you introduced me to?
Introduce you to everything.
So for me, in terms of a partner, what can I say? Partners. Not really. But this partner introduced me to chess. It's a fascinating game, as in you know drafts and then chess. So drafts you like just move ta 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 ta, but chess you have to strategically position your people so that you can win the king. So it was nice for me at that point, but I came to discover that sometimes I usually try to kind of learn about their interests so that now I can have a conversation to niweze kuongea na wao. Naona like if that guy likes, let's say, action movies, I'll actually binge watch action movies so that I can have a conversation with that person. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but at some point I usually see as if it's terrible because it's like I'm abandoning who I am so that I can get to interact with that person. But then I'm like, the end result is whatever you wanted. So I'll binge watch all action movies until I get that person.
I feel like it should be
the other way around.
No, not the other way around. I feel like it's not necessarily a bad thing if you don't abandon your own tastes to follow somebody else's tastes. it's like maybe you watch it and then you're like, oh, I actually like this genre of movies, or I like this artists or this genre of music. So it's not a bad thing. But I think the terrible part of it would be if now you decide, because this person watches action movies, I'm going to just strictly watch what they watch.
So if we hang out, it's just
we're just doing what he likes.
So like losing yourself within him,
yeah,
or within her.
So you turn into like a carbon copy of this person. So when you guys break up, you are left on your own. You have no idea how to go from there. And then the next person that comes in, you take on their interests again. So you never have anything of your own going on. Which is kind of like, it goes back to, I think the topic of self-love is really broad, because it covers even self-esteem, and how you view yourself. So like self-esteem would make you not, if you have low self-esteem, you wouldn't put yourself out there. And that's how you adopt other people's preferences, other people's interests, and other people's opinions of you, and then you lose yourself completely.
Get it.
Yeah. But it's not a bad thing, as long as you maintain also your own taste. Because like sometimes you can find you guys have nothing in common, so you two can even agree to try something. So like this week we do something that I like, next week we do something that you like. So maybe in that you'll discover something that you both hate, or something that you both really like. Or you can do, this week we're doing something I like, next week we do something you like, then the week after we do something neither one of us has ever tried. So it also gives you, I'm giving you guys ideas for dates. It's also an idea. You discover something new together. So I think even in a relationship, if you don't love yourself, if you don't know yourself, it's very easy for you to lose yourself, which also leads to things like depression. And you'll never actually be happy in your relationship, because you're very dependent on someone else to provide that happiness for you. So you'll be also complacent. So even if the relationship is emotionally or physically abusive to you, you won't be able to get out, because now you're attached to someone who has your whole identity trapped somewhere.
So I have a question. Will you change yourself or something you like doing, or a character that you have, for you to sustain a relationship?
It would depend. If it's something that's important to me,
obviously music is a no.
Music is a no.
Music is a no.
Music is a no. No, but I think sometimes it's all about, are you willing to compromise? Because maybe I go out too much, and my partner doesn't like the fact that I go out too much. And communication, you sit down, you have a conversation. Why is it a problem? Or is it maybe you don't spend enough time together, maybe they don't like something or something. So we can, if I can't let go of going out completely, because I want to spend time with my friends, I want to spend time with other people, I want to go listen to some new music, watch something new, we can go together to some of those things, and then I can go to some of them on my own, or we can find a compromise on how much I go out, without completely abandoning that. However, if it's something that's causing somebody else pain, and I can see that, I can let go. Sometimes. Yeah, it depends on, I think it's very fully dependent on what the situation is, and how important is it to me, and how much discomfort or pain is it causing to my partner.
So like for you, I know make one interview, but like for you, I know you have a lot of male friends. So what if your partner is not comfortable with you hanging out a lot, or maybe hanging out with your male friends? Do you think maybe you can include him into your friend circle of the sorts?
I wouldn't have much of a choice. because most, actually, I don't really have a lot of my male friends are people who are from Hope Generation, The others are from music, and the others are family, that people I've known for a long time. So either way, he's going to have to spend time with all of these people.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if he feels like it's too much sometimes, or he needs me to set boundaries on some things and some issues, or maybe the way there's things, we talk about or stuff like that, it's possible. But I wouldn't feel comfortable abandoning my friends. But kuna those instances where you realize, he realizes that that guy has feelings for you.
Oh yeah, men actually have that instinct. Or is it ladies?
All of them do. On either side, I can tell when a chick has feelings for someone, and I can never tell when a guy has feelings for me, by the way. So, as in, you can't tell when it's you, but you can tell when it's someone else. So, if my partner feels like this person may have feelings for you, and I'm not comfortable with you being around this person, I feel like that's a conversation I can have, one with this person first, to find out if that's what the case is.
You'll confront that person.
Yeah.
Hey, strong.
No, because I don't really.
Power.
Anyway, it's because I feel like for me it's easier.
Or you just
I like
the
just,
situation.
Yeah, if I like you, I tell you I like you. You tell me you don't like me, and we move on to something else. You tell me you like me, I tell you I don't see the possibility of us having a relationship, and then we move on to something else. I prefer that because then again it means that your feelings are not hurt. I'd rather deal with the rejection that comes with the feelings, so that we can be able to maintain a relationship from that point. So if my boyfriend or if my partner had a problem with somebody else, then I think that would also mean that, I would be able to set boundaries and, just put them at ease. Although there are some people who are overly jealous.
How will I know you love me or you no? But I have a question. How soon is it to say you love someone in a relationship?
It depends with everyone. It's different with everyone. It should be different with everyone.
3 weeks. A guy tell you you've been dating for 3 weeks.
Personally, me, I wouldn't believe it. I would think it was a joke, and I just stared at them like this and be like,
It's usually a big deal.
Sometimes
I love you.
Sometimes I feel like people just throw that word around, but there's some people who fall in love very fast.
Yeah. But msiniambie love at first sight. It's a lie. It's a lie. Love at first sight.
I don't believe in it anyway. So I think it's all dependent on the person. People fall in love fast. Some people take a while to fall in love or to even like someone. Personally, I'd love to spend time with a person before we even start dating, so I know them better and all that stuff. Yes. Anyway,
take care of yourself.
Yeah. As I was saying, self-love, self-care there's a whole lot that comes in there, because there's a lot with self-esteem, how you view yourself, how you view other people, how you view the way they view you, as in it's a lot, and it takes a really big toll on your mental health, which also affects your entire life.
Yeah.
Because if you're stressed, sometimes you black out.
Yeah.
Sometimes your body just shuts down, so you can even become sick. So it affects you physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and
mentally.
It's the mental that is doing the all.
Oh, the mental is doing the physical, the emotion. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. People studied.
Anyway, my point is that self-care is very important, and self-love. If you don't love yourself, then I would feel like it's not an opportunity for you to go into a relationship for someone to tell you what you need to become or what you need to be interested in. It's for you to figure that out for yourself. A partner may help you
discover something
about yourself, but if you leave them to just discover it for you and to tell you who you are, what you like, how you feel, then it makes it very, very difficult for you to cultivate your own personality. So you'll always be changing personalities according to who you're dating. You change into that person every single time. which is not healthy for you.
Yeah. At all.
Yeah. So forms of self-care.
Oh, the different kind
Yeah.
pointers. Okay. I believe there's listening to podcasts. Their podcasts, their main aim is self-care. As in whatever they usually discuss, most of them is self-care. So you can just check them at any podcast platforms. You just discover 1, 2, 3 or many that you can listen to and follow up on.
And they also give you pointers on how to do your self-care. So you can also listen to music.
Soothing music.
Yeah, that's soothing music.
The rock. You're like, ooh, you just want to do this.
Whatever makes you feel good, that's what you should do. You can take a walk, you can take a day off, you can journal, so writing down your thoughts. You can do affirmations.
My affirmations. Plug to an app. I am. It's an affirmation app. It's usually good. It's good. It's very good.
Yeah, you can watch movies. You can cook for yourself. There's some people whose form of self-love or form of relaxation is cooking, baking, all that stuff.
Bakers out there, holla at me. I will sample everything you make.
We are foodies, man. I feel like as self-care is very important, but don't take it too seriously.
Yeah,
it's a serious thing, but don't take it too seriously. The point of it is to relax yourself and to give yourself a break and to just take care of yourself. So it's me time.
And don't imitate what others are doing.
Yeah,
it's what you are comfortable in, and as in whatever you're comfortable doing, just do that. Don't imitate your friends or maybe social media people. Just do
what works for you. And I'd also like to point out that self-care is not just for women. Men should be able to do it as well. So take care of your skin, take care of your hair, take yourself on walks, learn how to cook, bake. It's all on you.
You've mentioned hair when it comes to guys. So I once naona vile guys with froze niliingiza vidole nikafanya hivi nilisikia mkono hui. I was like, I was just fixing it. Akaniambia, the more you're doing that or just tapping it is the more, as in you're just not fixing it. So I was like, wow, okay.
Keep your hands straight. Don't go touching other people's hair.
Yes, please.
Yes.
I learned it the hard way. I was like, hiya. But anyway, he was gentle. It wasn't harassment, please. It wasn't abuse, but I overstepped my boundaries because, if I asked if it's okay for me to touch his hair or his head, then something else.
Yeah. So you do that. Also, so now we're coming to the end of the podcast.
Yes.
Before we go, I would like to ask all of you, please join us on the 10th of April as we visit Better Living in Zimmerman. You can follow Hope Generation Kenya on Instagram to get more details, and you can also DM us if you're interested. So follow us on all social media platforms, the CATchy Duo. You can also follow our individual pages at
Muturi _ Chuggy
and at Rosiah _ Kimwaki. And we will respond. Give us comment, and also give us suggestions for topics to discuss. And we're also very grateful for the support you've given us so far. This is our 5th episode, and we are so happy that we've gotten this far. So take care, enjoy your weekend, and as you start your new week, please take into account your self-care.
Yes.
And your self-love.
Yes.
And different forms of it. And also taking care of the people next to you, because how we also respond to other people's emotions affects them as well.
Yeah.
So we will catch you next week on the CATchy Duo, where we scratch out all your issues.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Enjoy.